Okay, children, now let us move on to the next part. It is commensalism. So, what is this commensalism? It is an interaction in which one species is benefited, the other species is not neither benefited nor harmed. Right? We saw in commensalism one was positive symbol and the other one was zero, which was neutral. Right? So, they are either benefited or one species is not harmed, and the other species it is benefited. Okay, and example for such commensalism, it is seen in epiphytes like orchids. Example vanda. It grows on a mango branch. Here the mango tree neither is benefited nor harmed. So epiphytes are nothing but plants which lives as plants which live on the host, but they don't do any parasitic activity. And then we have another example which is barnacles, which is growing on the back of a whale. You can see it here. So it is growing on the back of the whale. So the whale is neither benefited nor harmed. Okay. Now, other than this, egrets and grazing cattle, right? So we call them as cattle egrets and grazing cattle. They are in close association. And why are they in close association? You would have seen whenever a grazing cattle is eating its grass, that time these cattle egrets will be seen sitting either on their back or near to them. And why do they do so? Because when the cattle take up the grass, that time insects which is present in the soil will come out, and these egrets, they no need to catch them. That means they no need to search and catch them. When these cattle animals eat their food, these insects will come out from the soil. So the egrets always forage close to the grazing cattle. Forage means they will be seen close to the grazing cattle to take their prey. And when the cattle move, they stir up and they flush out insects from the grasses. Cattle move ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്തും in the from when they are moving through that place itself, some insects will come out, and same way when they are eating the grass, so insects which is present in the soil will come out of it, or otherwise it will be difficult for the egrets to find and catch. So instead they are using the grazing cattle. Okay, and another example of commensalism is the interaction between a sea anemone, you can see the sea anemone here, and clownfish will live in association with them. And these sea anemones, they have stinking tentacles. You know, tentacles will release certain chemicals. Okay, and the fish will get protection from the predators which stay away from the stinging tentacles. And the anemone does not appear to derive any benefit by the host clownfish. So clownfish and the sea anemone, they live in a association or interaction. And sea anemone, it has tentacles which have stinking cells in it. See, these stinging cells will release chemicals which will kill a organism, and this fish gets protection from the predator and it stays away from the stinking cells. So predators will not come near that sea anemone because the stinking cells might affect them. Okay, in the sea anemone is not deriving any benefit. Clear? So this is about commensalism, and the last one is mutualism. Here mutually both are benefited. So this interaction confers benefit on both interacting species. So it is an interaction in which both species gets benefits. Example, lichens, they present an intimate mutualistic relationship between a fungi and photosynthesizing algae or cyanobacteria. So lichens are nothing but they are formed by the association of fungi and photosynthetic bacteria or photosynthetic algae or cyanobacteria. Okay, clear. So similarly, the mycorrhizae are associated between fungi and the roots of higher plants. So mycorrhiza are associations which we find between fungi and the roots of higher plant. So lichens എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, you can see the fungal hyphae. You can see the fungal hyphae here, and along with it you can see the green structures, which is an algae. So they both live together and both are benefited. Okay, and another example is mycorrhiza. It is the association of fungi and roots of higher plants. Higher plants and the roots we can find these fungi growing, and we call that association as mycorrhiza. The fungi will help the plant in both the conditions. What is happening? The fungi will help the plant in the absorption of roots of higher plant, and it will also help in the absorption of essential nutrients from the soil, while the plants in turn will provide fungi with food and also shelter. And same way, lichens algae will be producing food, and the necessary water and minerals are taken up by the fungi. So water and minerals to the algae is given by the fungi, and in return algae will provide food to them. Okay, so this is how the association happens. Clear? Now, and there are most spectacular and evolutionary fascinating examples of mutualism, and they are found in plant animal interaction relationship. ഓക്കെ, ഭയങ്കര സ്പെസിഫിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള അല്ലെ പല വ്യത്യാസ തരത്തിലുള്ള mutualism we are able to find in plant and animal relationship, and evolutionarily they have evolved some characteristic also for this mutualism. So let us see how it is done. So plant animal relationship, we know that plants need the help of animals for pollinating their flowers and also for dispersing their seeds. ഫ്ലവറിനെ പോളിനേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനും സീഡ്സിനെ ഡിസ്പേഴ്സ് ചെയ്യാനും രണ്ട് പ്രോസസ്സിനും they are using the animals. And animals are obviously, if they are doing that work, they have to be paid for the work which they have been done. That is what they expect from the plant. അല്ലേ, അവരൊരു പോളിനേഷൻ ചെയ്ത് കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, or else they are dispersing the seed, and these animals will in return they will expect something from the plant. And what will the plants offer? Plants will offer rewards in the form of pollen and nectar for pollinators and juicy and nutritious fruits for seed dispersers. Okay, so animals help the plants for pollination and dispersal of seed. Plants will give pollen and nectar for pollinators, and if it is a animal which helps in dispersion of seed, they will provide them with juicy and nutritious food, a fruit for the seed dispersers. Clear? Okay, now, so this plant and animal interaction, sometimes there can be cheaters also. In mutually beneficial system, they have to be safeguarded against their cheaters. For example, animals that try to steal the nectar without aiding in pollination. So in that case, the plant has to safeguard itself. Now, if you see the plant animal interaction, often they involve co-evolution of mutualist. That is co-evolution. If one character is seen beneficial to a flower, then the animals will adapt a new character which can work against it. Right? So that is evolution of the flower and its pollinator species are tightly linked with one another. Example, in some species of figs, not some, many species of figs, there is a tight one-to-one relationship with pollinator species of wasp. One-to-one relationship എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഈ wasp എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഇൻസെക്റ്റിന് മാത്രമേ they can help the fig tree. Right? So there's a tight one-to-one relationship with the pollinator species of the wasp. That is, particularly a particular fig species can be pollinated only by its partner wasp insect, and no other species can help in pollination. ഒരു fig species ആണെങ്കിൽ it can be pollinated only by its partner wasp species and no other species will do it. And what does the female wasp do there? The female wasp will use the fruit not only as an oviposition, that is egg laying position site, but it uses the developing seed within the fruit for nourishing its larvae. Okay, so the wasp pollinates the fig's inflorescence while searching for the suitable egg laying site. And in return for the favor of the pollination, the fig will offer the wasp some of its developing seed as food for the developing wasp larvae. So this is how we are able to find some co-evolution of mutualist. Now another example we have, some orchids, they attract pollinators without giving rewards. Right? So pollinators now attract you and they will not be giving rewards. Okay. So it means that mostly orchids, they have a diversity of floral patterns which have evolved to attract the right pollinator insect for them, like bees and humblebees, and ensure pollination by these insects. But not all orchids do this. Not all orchids will provide rewards for them. അവരെ കാര്യം മാത്രം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഈ പ്ലാന്റ്സ് എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? They will not provide rewards. So the Mediterranean orchid Ophrys, so it is the name of a Mediterranean orchid which is called Ophrys. It will employ sexual descent for pollination by a species of bee, which means that one petal of its flower will bear an resemblance to the female of the bee in size, color and marking. അവരെ ഒരു പെറ്റൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മളെ ഫീമെയിൽ ബീസ് എങ്ങനെയാണോ ഉണ്ടാവുക ആ ബീസിൻ്റെ സൈസും കളറും മാർക്കിങ്ങും ആയിരിക്കും ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത്. So the male bee will think that it is the female. So it gets attracted to what it preserves as a female. And these are pseudo-copulates. So they try to pseudo-copulate with flower. Copulation നടത്താനത് try ചെയ്യും. And that time what will happen? That process is dusted with pollen from the flower, and when the same bee pseudocopulators with another flower, it transfers the pollen to it and thus it pollinates the flower. Here you can see that how co-evolution operates. If the female bee's color pattern changes even slightly for any reason during evaluation, that time pollination success will be reduced unless the orchid flower co-evolves to maintain the resemblance of its petal to the female bee. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഹണി ബീസിൻ്റെ ഫീമെയിൽസിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും തരത്തിലുള്ള കളർ പാറ്റേൺ മാറ്റം ചെറുങ്ങനെ വന്നാലും ഇറ്റ് വിൽ അഫക്ട് ദ പോളിനേഷൻ പ്രോസസ് ഓഫ് ദിസ് ഓർക്കിഡ്. Okay, so during evolution of female bees, the changes which occur in them should happen in the orchid flower also. Only then the pollination can be successful. So this is about the process which is called as the mutualism. So with this, our chapter is over, children. So please read it properly. If you have doubts, you can ask. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you.